So the next thing is competitive statements. So what you could do is disqualify him. Competitive statements are pretty much statements that you use to put a man in a sexually competitive state. So let's talk about how to do it. One, disqualifying him. If he's and again, these things work because humans are ego driven, and the way that the ego works is through comparisons and differences. And humans have a deep need to compete. As children, we even compete with our siblings. We are competitive creatures, right? Especially when somebody wants the source that we want, like our parents, and so we compete with our siblings for their attention. So disqualifying him is looking for something that is the opposite of him, or the opposite of what he could ever achieve. So a perfect example is like race, right? As an example, if he's a white guy, you could talk about how you dated a black guy, right? You can insinuate it. You can even have a picture with a random black guy, right? Okay, if he's a skinny guy, you could talk about how one of your favorite celebrities is a big guy, right? And vice versa. Or even, you know how I told you, tell him that you're not looking for a relationship, right? Tell him how your last boyfriend you loved and that you wanted to be in a relationship with him, but he didn't want you, right? And how you deeply wanted to be in a relationship with him, because this is what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, "Bitch, what the fuck? Then why don't you want a relationship with me? Why are you so? Why did you say that? Say that you wanted a relationship from the first date." Because then he's gonna compare himself. He's gonna say, "Why me? Why? Like, what the hell? Like, why doesn't she? Why doesn't she want the same thing with me?" Right? That's one thing. Telling You could also tell him how you deeply loved someone and deeply wanted a relationship with the guy, right? Because then he's gonna say, "Why aren't you treating me the same way?" He's gonna say, "Wow, so there's another level to your love that I'm not seeing." First of all, this type of thing will just make a guy go crazy for you. You got to be careful with this. It's almost like qualifying, complimenting you guys. For example, the most powerful thing that has ever been used on me, that actually worked and that actually made me go from liking the girl to loving her, was this. And like I said, she was already acting distant, so you have to have a little bit of distance. You have to be a little cold with the person. That's just a fact. Because you can use this. If he thinks you're fucking psycho and you say this, that's gonna turn him off. And that's how you look at him one day and you're like, man, we will make some really good looking kids. Wow. All right. And then change the topic. And the reason why you say that is because you're implanting the idea of being in a relationship, of having kids together, and then changing the topic. And then maybe you bring it up another 2 or 3 weeks from now, you bring it up. And I prefer you say that after sex, right? Because his hormones are moving in his body a little bit more. Oxytocin. And what that does is that he imagines it. I'm not kidding. If he kind of likes you and you say that and you being a little cold, he's going to imagine that. And as soon as a guy imagines a kid with you, you could almost call that a checkmate. I mean, seriously, you could call this, you could say that this is like a fatality. It's like a fatality. Like, that's how you end the game right there. All right. It's actually one of the most powerful things you could say to a guy. Seriously. So, other things that you could use outside of competitive statements, and this is very important, is when you're speaking to people. This is the most important part about this, is focusing on them when you're speaking to people. Learn to tell people what they want to hear. Learn to, when you're talking to people, find out, try to understand what would they want to hear. Try to understand what they believe in and say it back to them, especially in the beginning. And the reason why is this. I remember I was listening to a political debate, and they were talking about how what is a woman, right? As an example. And the debater, who was pro-conservative, who was explaining that a woman is not just a human female. He was, at first, before disagreeing, he pretty much said everything that he agreed with on the other side. And he was like, of course, I mean, it's obvious that a woman is a female, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. This guy, even though he's on the other side, this guy understands the physiology of it. But then when we're talking about what a woman is, we're talking about more of a feeling. And we understand that it gets conflated and it seems like we're not into science, blah, 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 blah. But the reason why I started agreeing with him, even though I realized I didn't agree with him like afterwards, but in the moment I agreed with him. The reason why was because he said things that I agree with from the start. From the start, he started saying things that I agree with, and then he slowly started saying things that I disagree with. And because I already had a momentum of agreeing with him, I sort of cloaked everything he said that I disagree with a little bit of more agreeableness, if that makes any sense. It's almost like the yes ladder, that if you get people to say yes a lot, they'll end up saying yes to something that they usually wouldn't say yes to because you have created compliance. It's the same thing. You create mental compliance. So you find out, what do they love to talk about? What are their belief system? And go in that direction. And with every person, you should have a completely different conversation. It should be completely different. You should be focusing on the completely different topics. Because if you know, one of the signs that you're self-consumed is if you keep talking about the same topics with with different people. That just means you're putting yourself in front before the other person. So you want to find out, what is the one thing that they talk about that they can't shut up about. Find that out. What is the one thing that they love the most that nobody shares with them? Find that out and talk about it. Where would they like to go? What makes them unique? What are their weaknesses? And also find out, when you're talking to people, find out the relationships between people. If they bring up their cousins, find out, do you get along with your cousins? If they bring up their best friends, find out, how do you get along with your best friends? Have you guys ever had a fight? Find out the relationships between his life. So if he talks about basketball, for me, and art, ask him, what do you like the most, art or basketball? And I'm like, interesting. Or if an example, if you ask me, what do you like to do? I like art, and you're like, oh, okay, so why did you get into art? I could promise you, I'm not even gonna ask, why aren't you talking about yourself? I'm gonna just keep fucking talking. Oh, I started doing art because I read a book about Leonardo da Vinci and blah blah blah. And then if you're smart, you're not gonna say, oh, I love art. If you're smart, you're gonna say, why Leonardo? Why not other artists? What makes him so unique? And I'm like, all right, I'll tell you why. Okay, Leonardo was just a fucking genius, man. That's what I like about him. Let me tell you how I got into him, and I'll keep talking. And what's going on is that as I'm talking, emotions are stirring inside of me. And if you're a good listener, you're going to be like, oh my God, holy shit, this guy's a fucking genius. Can you tell me more about it? Oh my God, that's crazy. Show me some of his paintings. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me show you some of his, let me show you, look at this one, right? And you're like, oh, so what makes this different from any other artist in his time? And then I'll tell you his technique. And if you just keep focusing on me, I'm not going to notice that you're not talking about yourself. I'm not going to notice it. And the whole point of all of this is for me to leave like I'm the smartest person. A good listener leaves and the person feels like you were a smart person. And a great listener, I leave and I feel like I am the most interesting person. That's the goal. You don't want to disagree with me. You could disagree with me on little topics. Find out the little topics you could disagree on. But on the big topics, agree. Right? Just find a way to agree, or even agree, but then or even disagree, but then focus more on what you agree with. But the whole point is that you want to enter their world and find out what they like, what they don't like, the relationship, why they like this and not that. Like, find out relationships. So find out relationships. Do you get along with that person? Do you get along with that friend? Do you like him? How is him different from him? How are your best friends different? Blah, 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 blah. All in casual conversation. But also find out what they, about their past, their relationship with their parents, their relationship with their moms, dads, right? And as you're talking, make sure that you don't just focus on them. So for example, if we were in the conversation about Da Vinci, and then you ask me about that, how I got into art, and you have nothing to say about art, you can say, oh wow, so you got into art because of Leonardo. That's pretty fucking cool. I got into science, or I got into dancing because of fucking Michael Jackson, right? Just like that, because I read his biography and I got inspired by it, you know. But it's the same thing. But I'm curious, how was your journey like? How did that progress? Did you go to a school to learn? Did you even started practicing? How was it? right? And then I tell you how it went, blah, 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 blah. After 2 minutes of talking, you'd be like, oh, wow, that's kind of similar. Like, I started going to a school, you know? But then I started noticing there was a lot of competition, right? And so it's kind of like, it was really difficult. But what was like some of the challenges at school? Did you notice that there were people better than you? Like, how was that for you? Because that happened to me. And then I'll talk, right? You kind of, what you want to do is that you kind of want to guess what topics will get them talking the most. That's where you pretty much want to go, and just go in that direction and just listen, right? When you make eye contact, look at them, but then every 5 seconds you look away, like quickly, just quickly look away as they're talking. Interesting. Oh, right. And when they say something, if I say, yeah, Leonardo was just a crazy genius, and then you want to say what I said, but in your words. Damn, I mean, this dude was an animal of a genius, man. I mean, I couldn't believe someone like that existed. What you want to do is guess, how do I feel about what I just said? And say, and in your mind, you want to be like, okay, so he said Leonardo was such a genius. What else might he think? Man, Leonardo, it's crazy. He just blew the competition. Like, how the hell was he able to just discover so many things? And then I'm like, that's exactly, and then I'll say, that's exactly what I say. It's kind of crazy. And then it's almost like you'll give me the sensation that you see the world the way I see it. And that sensation will create a connection. And if you just keep going deeper into that, my God, this person is going to feel so understood, so flattered, so like a star, that they're just going to want to see you again. Even if they don't find you attractive, the fact that you listen so fucking much, they want to see you again. So, now that we understand about what to say, let's talk about how not to use words. One, after you inflict pain. When you inflict pain, which we talk about how to inflict pain, go watch my video on how to inflict pain or anything that's pain related. In fact, let me show you why it's important to inflict pain.
You see, the number one key to making a man fall in love with you is to inflict pain. If you don't learn how to inflict pain on the guy, he's never going to remember you. If you notice, the people who you love the most, the people who you have the hardest time forgetting, usually they inflicted the most pain. So how do you create the kind of pain that makes him have a hard time forgetting you? You could do that through preemptively breaking up with him. Maybe you see him after a month. Things are great, and you break up with him. You could do that by just disappearing for a whole day. You say, I miss you, and then in the next 3 days, you disappeared. You come back and blame it on your kids or blame it on work. The point is that pain is what creates the attachment that makes a guy never forget you. Think about it in your exes. That is what happened.
Ladies, men love pain. And it's not because they prefer that, but that is what makes them chase. It's one thing what men say, it's another thing what men react to. Think about all of the past relationships you've ever had. The ones that you want to get back are the ones with the loose ends. Are the ones that they dumped you. Are the ones that they treated you like shit. And I'm not saying to treat people like shit, but to understand the soul behind that concept. Because when somebody treats you like shit, they make you lose your self-esteem. And then all of a sudden, the only way for you to feel that self-esteem again is for them to validate you once again. After you inflict pain, don't use words to calm insecurities. Don't say, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Or as an example, let's just say that we were supposed to meet and I canceled the date last minute and you're pretty pissed off. I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to do something. I'm going to make a bold move. I'm going to send you flowers. I'm going to go to your house and apologize, right? Rather than just do it over the phone. I'm going to send you a gift. I'll send you a screenshot of a reservation that I did of a very expensive place as an example. Or I'll cook something for you, or I'll make you a gift or something like that. But let your actions speak. At some point when you break promises, you have to act. Don't text too much and learn to say less than necessary when getting to know someone. All right. That works in the previous section in terms of getting to know someone by letting them talk. Learn not to say much. Saying 15 words, it's much better to say 15 words rather than 30 words. All right. Rather than communicating a sentence in 40 words, communicate it in 20 words. It leaves room for the imagination. Always think about what they want to hear. Remember that. If you're not good at talking, then shut up. You could create some mystery with your silence. Never say I love you first. Always show your love through your actions. Always. Never flirt, obviously. Better to be ambiguous when you flirt. In fact, contradict yourself sometimes. Frustrate them rather than stimulating them. And one last thing I want you to know from Robert Greene. When you're trying to impress with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. Even if you're saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague and open-ended. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. And that's the power of words. Words have a power to create a new reality, to make people act, to make them fall in love with you. All right? And when you use this properly, you will have a magnetic effect on people that's unprecedented. All right? Anyways, it's a long video. I hope I don't have to do a video about this anymore. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, ladies. So finally, I have released my second course for women, which is natural chemistry. This course is a 5-week course. 5-week course where every week you're going to get a new set of videos based on specific issues. This course is all about how to create and maintain the attraction in any man. This will help you create love. This will help you deepen the love with your man. This is not about manipulation. This is not about playing games. This is genuine natural chemistry. No more short-term partners. No more being fooled. Why? Because I will reveal to you not only how to create attraction in the first week, but also how to understand male nature, how to understand their tricks, how to prevent from being too attached, signs that he's the wrong guy, signs that he's a narcissist, signs that he's a mama's boy, signs that he's an emotionally available guy, emotionally unavailable guy. We go over everything. We go over this third week, setting boundaries. We go over the third week, controlling your emotions, right? Setting boundaries, fourth week, fifth week, embracing your masculine and the feminine, right? And on top of that, I have over 10 different bonuses. 10 different bonuses. My Lord have mercy, right? With a money back guarantee. The bonus are: 1, the natural chemistry, over 10 hours of content, right? The breakup formula, how to deal with a breakup, right? The connecting with your man, right? Establishing a life of abundance, social mastery, understanding your dark side, the goal setting seminar, which is about how to set and achieve goals, practical mastery that will teach you how to master anything, the laws of human nature. I have a book club for the laws of human nature with over 4 hours of content, right? The transformational seminar in a pocket, which is my mindfulness seminar, and the Chase audiobook. This originally is $1,800, but you get it starting at $97, ladies and gentlemen, right? $97. We have different packages, but all of this starts at $97. And you know what? You can check it out for free if you want. Yeah, for all the freeloaders, I have free videos just for you. Free videos, all right? So you could just check it out for free, and then you could get out. Nothing wrong with that, all right? So, and on top of that, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. That's right. No questions asked. I don't mind. I just want you guys to check it out, because I know when you take one look, you're going to want to buy it. I can promise you. Just like my other course, the psychological game of attraction, it was a hit. You're going to love this one. This one is not about manipulation. This is genuine natural chemistry. Order it now, all right? I'll see you guys inside. Peace out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have 2 nieces. One is 19, and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man, Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one would teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this, a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.